Halloween 2 from 1981 has seen a lot of different releases on physical media over the years here in the United States. Today I want to go over a lot of those releases with you and tell you which one is the best. Hey, what's up everybody? Nick here, and today I want to talk to you guys about Halloween 2. I want to talk to you about Halloween 2's releases in the United States since 1982, and I want to narrow it down to what is the best one. If you're gonna buy only one, what is the one you should buy? So starting this off, in 1982, Halloween 2 got its first home video release. It was released on Betamax and VHS simultaneously through Universal Pictures. Now, I do not own any of the original runs of that release, but as pictured here, you can see exactly what they look like. I did a video about a month ago on this release specifically and told people about just how much this thing can go for in pristine condition. Now, some people pointed out, oh, well, just because people are asking that doesn't mean you'll get that for it. I understand that. But the fact remains, if this thing is in good condition, especially if it's unopened, someone will pay high dollar for this release. Halloween 2 would then see a Laserdisc release in 1983, right after the release of Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. And then over the course of the next few years, Universal would release Halloween 2 on VHS again multiple times, in 1983, 1987, and then finally 1990. And that's what brings us to this MCA Universal release. Now, this is one of the reissues, though I have to stress to all of you guys, all of those reissues after the 1982 VHS are the same. There's no upscaling, there's no different presentation. It is the exact same release, just minor differences on the case. This happens to be a reissue of that MCA Universal VHS tape. Now, this release of Halloween 2 is one of the more rare to find. Now, of course, the 90 is easier to find than the 87 or the 83, but all of them are quite rare. So if you own any of these MCA Universal VHS tapes, you've got a nice piece on your hands. Then in the late 1990s, Good Times would take over home distribution for Halloween 2, and in 1996 released their first VHS of Halloween 2. And this I have courtesy of the trilogy box set of 1, 2, and 3 that was billed as a Blockbuster exclusive. Now, I have talked many times about how much I freaking love this VHS release. This cover art does not look like it belongs to a Halloween movie whatsoever, and that is part of the reason why I love it so much. Now, this was also a pan and scan full screen transfer of the film, and that was back in the days when we didn't really know any better. Full screen, great, it takes up the entire screen. Now, no way. I'm not watching movies in full screen. But this is a really, really unique release, and I urge you guys to find this if you can, whether it's solo, but especially if it is that Halloween trilogy box set, which is one of my favorites in my collection. Then in 1998, Good Times would release one of my favorite versions of Halloween 2, and that is their Halloween 2 DVD. Now, this is one of my favorites for many reasons. This version finally was in widescreen presentation. So that's one of the reasons to like this, especially at the time. But also, I've talked about the snapper cases, I've talked about the artwork on these things. This is to die for. And I understand how corny and how cheesy and how half of it doesn't make any sense. Like Halloween 6's mask being on the back there. But I don't give a crap, because Good Times was like just a part of my childhood. When I think back to my childhood, I think of Good Times DVD releases, and Halloween 2 being one of them. Then in 2001, Universal would release Halloween 2 on VHS and DVD with the Scarface artwork, as my buddy Christian calls it. And it should not be a surprise why he calls it that. It literally looks like that. Now, I've actually never seen this version on VHS out in the wild. I have seen it online, and it is nowhere near as rare as any of the MCA Universal ones, but I still want to get it. But this really didn't have much different from the Good Times release. Special features on here are a theatrical trailer and production notes and cast and filmmaker information. Like, that's about it. It was presented in widescreen again, and that's really all you've got. It's mainly just a difference in the artwork. So if the Scarface is your thing, that's great. If the corny cheese is your thing, go Good Times. Then in the year 2007, we got a bunch of different physical media releases throughout the Halloween franchise. And the one for Halloween 2 was the double feature set with Halloween 3 from Universal. Now, I've told the story about how this was the very first edition of Halloween 2 I owned on physical media, and the second item in my Halloween collection after my Halloween DVD. This thing is just like the release from 2001. There are no new special features, no new artwork, nothing to speak of. It is the exact same movie, exact same transfer, just packaged into one package with another movie. Then in 2011, it was time for Halloween 2 to finally get the Blu-ray treatment. So Universal jumped at the opportunity to release the 30th anniversary Blu-ray. Now, I did a video on this release just a couple weeks ago, and that video friggin' exploded, and I got a bunch of comments about this release. Some people were surprised that it was so controversial. Some people had no idea it was controversial at all, and a lot of people loved the Terror in the Aisles documentary. Now, I'm going to give credit to this release. Controversy with the credits aside, it's actually a pretty freaking solid transfer. I actually think the movie looks pretty good. And the special features on here aren't terrible. You get the alternate scenes, the alternate ending, deleted scenes on here, and Terror in the Aisles, which is a great documentary about horror films hosted by Donald Pleasence. So I honestly don't think this is a bad release at all. I think the controversy kind of made people sour on it, and I do think it could have used more special features that centered around Halloween 2. But overall, not a bad release. Then in 2012, Scream Factory would release their own collector's edition Blu-ray and DVD. Now, I don't have either one of these, and that was by choice because I have subsequent releases that we will get into in a minute. It has all of the features and better transfers. So I never really felt the need to go back and get this edition. But at the time in 2012 when this was announced and released, it was really, really cool. A ton of special features, great artwork, great transfer. This is one that you definitely want to pick up if you don't have some of these later releases. Also in 2016, you would get a limited DVD run of Halloween 2, and I can't remember if this was like a Walmart exclusive, Target, it was something like that. Someone let me know in the comment section. But it had that red cover, that slip cover that was glow in the dark. I remember seeing this in one of the stores and I told myself there's no reason to buy this. There is nothing new on here at all. It is literally just for the slip cover. Though I do know there are a lot of people in this community that will buy things solely for a slip. The next release of Halloween 2 on physical media would come in 2014 with the release of Halloween the Complete Collection. Now, I should mention that on that Scream Factory Blu-ray, you had the television cut footage, and that carries over onto this disc as well. With this release of Halloween 2 in the box set, you have the Blu-ray of Halloween 2, and then you have the DVD of the theatrical version. Still just in standard definition, which was quite frustrating for the longest time that the new releases we were getting, the Scream Factory ones, finally included the television version, but they had not upscaled it. It was simply just from the broadcast master. But I digress, because it was really cool to finally get that television cut footage, and I've just got to say, the television cut for this movie is wildly different from the theatrical in so many little ways, as opposed to the extended cut of Halloween only having a few differences. Then in 2018, Scream Factory would put out a new Blu-ray release of Halloween 2, this one in the form of a Steelbook. Now, up until the next edition we get to, this was my favorite edition of Halloween 2 to own. At the time in 2018, I felt like this was the best audio and video quality of any release of Halloween 2. It also had the television cut again, but it's really in this Steelbook. This thing is gorgeous. This is one of my favorite Steelbooks in the entire Halloween franchise. I love this artwork. I love the inside of this Steelbook as well, and the disc artwork that you get on there too. At the time, this was the superior version of Halloween 2 to own. Until the next release of Halloween 2 on physical media, which to this day is the greatest edition to get of Halloween 2. And that is the 2021 4K put out by Scream Factory. Halloween 2. Yes, easily the greatest edition of Halloween 2 to own. And there's a number of reasons for that. As I talked about in the video I did on Halloween 5, I love the fact that you get these hard cases on the outside and new artwork. Now, the new artwork isn't going to work for everybody, but if that's the case, that's fine, because you can slide this bad boy out and then reverse it to have the original poster artwork on the 4K case itself. Now, on here, you get a buttload of special features. You get a brand new 4K transfer. You get the television cut. You get anything you could want in terms of features, presentation, you name it, with Halloween 2 on this release. Aesthetically, it looks gorgeous. The film sounds and looks gorgeous. It's got tons of special features for you to dive into. I genuinely don't know how anybody could make the case that this is not the best release of Halloween 2. Now, it's been brought to my attention by some people, though, that if you buy these now, a lot of them do not have this outer casing. And that is a bummer. However, I still think this is the edition you have to go with if you're only going to buy one of Halloween 2. I genuinely think you get everything you could ask for. Previous special features from previous releases are all compiled onto this, as well as some new special features. The television cut, you got that too. The best presentation of the film, you got that here as well. I know these things aren't necessarily cheap nowadays either, but you are getting what you pay for, and this is the superior version of Halloween 2. But if I had to be honest with you guys, if you didn't have a 4K player, or you didn't want to drop the money for that one, I would personally suggest this version from 2018 and Scream Factory being the edition you get. Although the transfer isn't as good as the 4K upscale, it's still a really good transfer. You still get the television cut, you've got a great freaking case that it's housed in, and you've got great special features. So you really can't go wrong. You could pick either one of these. If you're a 4K person, you gotta go this release. If you're a Blu-ray person, go this release. As of me recording this video, a brand new Halloween 2 Steelbook is about to make its way onto the streets. Everybody's getting their Halloween Steelbook now. Halloween 2 and Halloween 3 are also getting a new Steelbook treatment. Now, it's a great Steelbook, and I plan to get it myself, but I can't cover it yet because I don't own it. That is the history of Halloween 2 on physical media. It is one of the movies in the franchise that has the most releases on physical media, but that makes sense because it's a very popular movie and it is the second oldest. But I want to know down in the comment section below what you guys think. What is your favorite home video release of Halloween 2 and why? What was your first home video release of Halloween 2? And if you had to pick the superior one, what is it? Whatever the answers to those questions, let me know down in the comment section below. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to leave a like on it, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. This is Nick at the Lost River Drive-In, and I'm pulling out.